So, tell me again, son. What's your name? Steven, right. Sorry. Mark! Silly me. I'm rather forgetful sometimes. Jake? Listen, kid. I have some unfortunate news for you. Would you look around you for a moment? This is not where you went to sleep last. I can assure you of that. Some would call this the crazy room, and in fact, you've described it as such before. Surely you understand why you're here. Last night you were found in a full, form-fitting white suit, screaming at the moon. The moon haunts you! Or some such. Which, of course, would be a mere nuisance for most. But when you started saying the words, God, what was it? Right. There's a god in my head. Now I understand you were in that rather extreme, form-fitting outfit, and might I say, whoever came up with that was quite the genius. But you also had many dangerous weapons on you, that you can't go around in public with. Or at least, if you do, you need to know how to hide them. But you didn't hear that from me, huh? Can I be honest with you for a moment? I'm actually, you may not believe this, but your biggest fan. And in fact, I've been there since the beginning. I know you, Mr. Moon Knight. I know what you do. I know that you try, and sometimes you fail. But allow me to give you a little guide. A Lunatics guide. I suppose we could call this a Lunatic's guide to Moon Knight. Moon Knight tip number 1. You have to know that when you look at your kit, half of it is mobility. Literally half of the buttons you can click are mobility related. You have a double jump, you have a glide, a pretty sick one at that. You have a grappling hook. 3 movement-esque abilities. While other characters would have none such luxury. And yet, you deem it necessary to sit in the same place and shoot at your stupid little onk all game. You need to move. You have so much mobility and yet you won't use it. You need to know the maps. You need to know where the peeky holes are. You need to know where to shoot, where an onk can fit through, and so you can get a free, easy kill. Steven tip number 2. You are more than just an onk. While the onk may be part of your kit, it is important to understand that you are more than just an onk-carrying device. You are the Moon Knight. You can be so much more. Sure, every time the onk comes off of cooldown, you should be using it, because chances are you'll get a pretty easy kill from it, or at least not, you'll get a lot of damage off. However, it's important to understand that even when onk is off cooldown, or even when onk is on cooldown, you still can fire at the enemy. You can still shoot at them. You're not helpless. You can still do stuff. And leading to my next point, which I will call Mark tip number 3, use your Crescent Blade. The little cooldown, which for some reason they gave to Moon Knight, I honestly don't really understand why the developers and all their infinite knowledge gave him this ability. It doesn't really do that much. However, if you can use it well, it's very effective. It is on a 4-second cooldown. and you can just spam it. It also is cohesive with the Ankh. So if you throw the Ankh, everybody else will also get hit. It is also important to understand that if somebody is within Ankh range, and you hit them with it, it will bounce off them, go to the Ankh, and then bounce back to them. So you can get double the damage. And that is true even with all of your normal fire, but especially with this. And it should also be said, it is a amazing tool to use when you are surprised by an enemy that is coming for your little booty cheeks. See, when they're coming, and not in the good way, it's important to understand that if you hit a critical headshot with the Crescent Blade, they are very much in a dangerous spot, and you can easily kill them. If you have it in you, you can easily win that fight, so long as you're not going up against, like, Spider Guy or something, in which case you might as well sign your death waiver because it's about to be shoved up the butt, unfortunately. Jake tip number 4. See, Moon Knight has a pretty interesting team-up, one that he teams up with Cloak and Dagger for, and since right now, Cloak and Dagger is used every game, pretty much without fail. There's always some sort of Lord Cloak and Dagger everywhere. I don't really know why, except I do know why. It's because they're overpowered right now, and they can get their ultimate extremely quickly. Not as quickly as you, but they can get it very, very quickly. And it is also important to understand that their team-up is pretty decent if you know how to use it. If you use it, obviously, it is actually more of a hindrance than anything else, because it is very clearly telling the enemy team where you are. They just have to shoot in that general area, and once you get hit once, they will see you. It reveals you if you get hit even once. So that's why you need to combo it with other things. For example, you can combo all your abilities at the same time. So you place down the Shroud, not the Twitch Streamer, the ability. You throw your Ankh, you throw your Crescent Blade, and then you shoot a bunch of blades at people. And then you leave. Once you need to reload, you leave that spot, because they will be coming. Or another could be you placing it down, and then immediately going elsewhere, because the enemy thinks you're in there. So long as you're not attacking them from a different angle, they will think you are in there. And so they will go out of their way to try and fight it. But what you can do is lay a little trap for them. A little Ankh in the middle of it as they try to go inside of it so they can spray and pray. Only to realize they have been caught in your trap with an Ankh and unfortunately have just been eviscerated by a bunch of moon knives. That's the way you play the game, unfortunately. And you just got the easiest kill of your life. Khonshu tip number 5. Never hesitate to use your ult. You are one of the characters that gets their ult one of the fastest in the game. From every single angle, you are always doing damage, or at least you always should be doing damage, and so you are getting your ultimate very quickly. In fact, you're getting your ultimate faster than almost anybody else is getting their ultimate, so don't hesitate to use it. Because chances are, those 1 to 2 kills you'll get from it will help you win a team fight. If you can pick off a couple supports, which by the way, you get yours faster than most supports do. So if you're able to kill the supports before they can get their ult, which counters your ult, that's called a team-winning fight right there. Never hesitate to do it. Unless you have a Groot, or a Strange, or somewhere, or somebody you can combo with, and they say, hey, combo? Which is fine. You can combo with them. But if you're in the if you're in the heat of the moment, and you see that little ability, ultimate button pop up, just click it. Also, don't hesitate to use it on a single person. You are Moon Knight, you are Venge. Not Venge. Your Vengeance. Your Vengeance. Sorry, forgive me, Mr. Knight. You are Vengeance. And remember, don't feel bad about using it on a single person. If you're about to die, if the enemy Spider-Man is about to kill you, fuck him. Just fuck him. rain Khonshu fire down upon that man. I want all guns fired on that spider, that little insect. And you know what? You'll feel great afterwards. You will think that was extremely worth it. You may have lost the game, but you won the war. Remember that. One more bonus tip. If you have a strange on your team, he doesn't just combo with you for the Eye of Agamotto, as much as that sorceress seems to love that. He does also have another ability, the Portal, which everybody knows about the Portal. But did you know not I, Khonshu, as great as he is, can go through the portal whenever you activate your ultimate. And if you put it at the right spot, it can go through and get a pretty easy kill, especially because there's no "the moon haunts you" line, since you're so far away from everybody. Which means it's a very easy kill if you can get it positioned correctly. It should be said, you need to position your ultimate right above where he puts his portal. I will put a little graphic up, but it's important to understand that if you don't do it this way, it will not go through the portal. I mean, Khonshu will not go through the portal and, you know, do things to the enemy. Alright, Mr. Knight. Mr. Mark, Steven, Jake, whatever you wish to call yourself. We all know what's at stake here, don't we? You know who I am, don't you? I don't need to play the therapist anymore, you know who I am. So let me make things straight with you. You are my fist. They are the crazy ones. You know what your job is, Knight. I need you to rise and bring vengeance upon them. It is time for you to fight once more. Now rise, my fist.